Hello you fantastic people, and welcome back to another Borderlands 3 video. Hope you guys are all doing well. In this video I have another one of a bit of a different one for you guys today. It is the top 10 or all 10 viable ARs in this game. Tried to rank them, but it's extremely difficult past the top 2. I definitely have the top 2 for you, and the rest, the ranking gets kind of blurry, but they're all really viable, all really amazing weapons on Mayhem 10. I'd highly recommend you guys checking them all out. But yeah, in this video I'm going to go through all of them for you guys in the best ranked order I could pull together, with gameplay of them all, where to get them from, and the variants you guys want to absolutely ruin any Mayhem 10 content in this game with any build. I did keep that in mind, by the way. That's why the ranking was extremely difficult, trying to keep them all bossing and mobbing comparable, and then for all Vault Hunters for all builds. But I think I got a decent list for you guys. Again, if you guys disagree, or if you think I missed an AR, by the way, that's really good in the game right now, please let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to know, and I'm sure other people watching this video would too. Starting off with the number 1 place without wasting any time, because I'm sure you guys already knew what it was. It is the Monarch from Kilovolt, from Mayhem 6 and above. You can only get it from Mayhem 6 to Mayhem 10. It will not drop anywhere else in the game, only Kilovolt. This thing is an absolute machine. It is the best AI in this game by far. For any character, any build, it doesn't matter. This thing will destroy all bossing and mobbing situations, and it is a ton of fun to use, to the point where it's so overused you kind of want another option, because it's just like, it's so meta, this thing. It's kind of amazing. It comes in a ×4 and a ×8 variant. The ×8 does consume 2 bullets per shot though, so I actually personally like the ×4 so that I can shoot for longer. It does come in every elemental type as well as non-elemental, but I would recommend going elemental variants because it's definitely more efficient depending on what boss or enemy you're taking on. As for anointments, of course, depending on build, it will vary a bit, but consecutive hits is a fantastic one to get on Monarchs because it's a really easy one to stack up consecutive hits for one, but it's a really good one to have across any build. As for special abilities, the Monarch doesn't really have one other than the bipod mode. If you include that, essentially just means you do more damage and your recoil is reduced heavily, but it does make you a ton slower. You can't jump, you can't sprint, so you switch on and off between bipod mode all the damn time to do the more damage. And in second place we have the Chaos Assault Rifle. This thing is absolutely amazing. This is definitely in second place because it's just laser accuracy, tons of damage, really good against bosses, and then really good in mobbing situations as well, because when you've killed an enemy with whatever elemental type you're using, for example I have a fire one, it will explode a fire bubble around them, doing a ton of damage and just clearing anyone nearby, which is really good for takedowns or just any mobbing situation. Honestly, this thing comes in every elemental type except non-elemental, because it does have that explosion bubble, and it's just flat out amazing. Would highly recommend you guys picking this one up. If you want to go for the dedicated drop, it is the Psychobillies in Amber Mire. From the closest news station or fast travel station is the Rogue's Hollow place, if you want to go from there. From my experience, it doesn't drop too often from there, but it does drop fairly regularly in the world drop system. If you guys want the best world drop farms for any of these weapons, by the way, that are in the world drop system, I do have a video for the best farms for console as well as just generally. Those will be linked in the description down below. It'll be on the end card title screen, or just check it out on the channel if you want, just to save time on not repeating the same info in each video. I believe the damage variant is like 14,000 to like 18,500. Please let me know if you guys have seen anything higher. I'd love to know. I'm sure others would as well. Mag size can go all the way up to, I believe, 40, but then the reload speed is really slow, so try and balance that one out as much as you can. This thing is really good for all things melee one takedown, absolutely shreds Wotan as well as the Kraken, all that good stuff. Bosses, mobbing, doesn't matter. Get yourself a Chaos for whatever build you guys are rocking. Now from here on out, it's really hard to rank them properly for all characters, bossing and mobbing situations, so it's a very blurred list. Just keep that one in mind, but they're all very viable, very amazing weapons you guys need to get in this game. Starting off with the third place now is the Clairvoyance. I have a masher variant. You can get a single pellet version if you want. The mash variant works really well with Flak's skill tree. You guys can get this one from DLC 2 if you'd like to farm it. You can only get it from a crew challenge boss. It's not in the world drop system. The name is Karichi, I believe. From Curse Haven, you can only farm it from them. There's a ton of different variants. Like I said, the masher variants and the single pellet variants. There's a ton of different mag sizes, fire rate, animations as well. and reload speeds. The amazing thing about this, particularly for flak skills, it does work on all other characters, but primarily shines with flak. If you hit critical hits, it sticks projectiles that later explode, and they do a ton of damage. It's really good for bossing situations and mobbing. This thing only comes in cryo, and I'll have a clip on screen against Gravy, which is what I tested all of these ARs on, with the exact same build, by the way, exact same class mod, just with weapon damage and assault rifle damage, so nothing is being, you know, unfairly tested. It's all against the same thing, all with the same gear, etc. And this thing absolutely shredded Gravy when I expected absolutely nothing, because it is a cryo weapon. Then you take it into mobbing situations and it absolutely shines. It's kind of ridiculous. It was one dinging everything in Athena's. I've ran it through the takedown before and it shreds there as well. It's kind of amazing. Would highly recommend you guys checking this one out. In fourth place, we have the Breath of Dying. This thing got buffed like 3 weeks ago now. This thing is absolutely amazing again. It was already a pretty decent weapon in the game, and then it got buffed and is absolutely amazing, which is why it's in fourth place. It's really good for all Vault Hunters. It does only come in corrosive, which does hold it back a bit, but the blobs on this thing, if you've never used this thing, essentially whenever you get a kill with it, it will shoot out orbs, like corrosive little orbs, in a big circle around the enemy that died, and anything that orb touches will instantly die because it's so damn strong. It's ridiculous. I'll run a clip if I haven't already that literally one-shot the Kraken. I wasn't intending on doing it, and it just one-shot the Kraken. I've almost one-shot the bottom half of Wotan before, again without trying, so I feel like if you put any effort into it, you'll be able to do it with it. It's really good for mobbing situations, of course, because if you hit one enemy, everything around it is going to die. If you guys want to get this one, you can get it from the World Drop system in Borderlands 3 base game, or if you guys want to farm the dedicated drop location, go to Desolation's Edge. The crew challenge boss there called the Blinding Banshee drops it there. And in fifth place, the Star Helix also got a buff at the same time as the Chaos and the Breath of Dying. All three of these style assault rifles are really amazing in this game. Again, the Star Helix actually surprised me when I took it to Graveward. This is just a shock one with next to max bonus fire damage, and it absolutely shredded him way faster than I ever would have guessed. So I'd highly recommend you guys picking this one up. It's good against bossing, like you just saw, as well as mobbing situations as well. Running it through Athena's, running it through the melee one takedown. It comes into shock, radiation, cryo, and non-elemental. So if you got a radiation one, that'd be really good for mobbing situations, for that radiation explosion on the death of the enemy. If you guys want to farm yourselves one of these, it does drop from the World Drop system, but if you guys want to get the dedicated drop location, it is in base game Borderlands 3 in Atlas HQ in Promethea. There's a rare enemy, or what was a rare enemy, and now spawns every time. It's the Power Troopers. In sixth place, we have the Boom Sickle variant of the Sickle Assault Rifle, which is pretty much just a shotgun built into an AR. This thing is amazing. It is extremely difficult to get the Boom Sickle variant. I've actually seen very little of them in the entire game that I've ever played. If you guys want to farm for one of these, it does drop in the World Drop system. Otherwise, the dedicated drop location is in the Anvil from Anointed X4. You do have to complete the Malevolent practice side mission to be able to farm these guys. If you want a full guide on that, that'll be linked in the description. I've made one of those for already, or just check it out on the channel. This thing is amazing. It comes in all elemental types and just does a ton of damage. The original Sickle variant does about 1/3 of the base damage of it, which is kind of ridiculous, and the Boom Sickle does explosive damage on impact and does just ridiculous amounts against bosses, mobbing situations. It doesn't really matter, particularly with Moes, of course, because splash damage is just the king with Moes, and you'll destroy literally everything in this game. In seventh place, we have the Soulrender. This thing is amazing. It looks awesome. It's got purple on it. It's an awesome design of a gun, and it does a ton of damage. It is dropped from DLC 2 if you guys want to farm for this one. It doesn't drop in the World Drop system. It only drops from Tom and Zam, XAM, if that's how you pronounce that. The twins in there, they're a really good boss to farm, particularly for console. If you only kill one of them and then just fast forward back to the news station, which is right next to them, you can actually farm them on a loop without having to log in and out. Save yourself a bunch of time, particularly if you're on console. This thing is amazing though. It comes in any elemental type, including non-elemental, and it shoots out skulls, which is hecking awesome. They're essentially homing purple skulls that explode on impact, which by the way do splash damage for most mains, and they don't have to go to the enemy you're particularly shooting if you're in mobbing situations. For example, if you guys are lasering somebody across the battlefield and there's somebody nice and close to you trying to shoot you in the face, those skulls will actually prioritize the closer enemy and destroy them for you. So it's a good mobbing weapon as well as a bossing weapon. In eighth place, we have the Rebound from DLC 4. This thing is kind of amazing. It is a ton of fun to use. It shoots literal saw blades, which is kind of hilarious, and they ricochet off the walls and bounce everywhere and just explode the entire room. If you guys are Mo's mains, the amount of splash damage you got to get out of this thing is ridiculous. Even with flak, it just clears rooms. It's also really good against bossing situations. For example, I only have a shock variant with on action skill and weapon status effect, damage is increased by 75% for a short time. Took that to Graveward and absolutely shredded him in one clip, which would really shook me because you can get any elemental type you want, including non-elemental. So if you took a fire one with a much better anoint, he's not going to stand a chance and he's going to go down in very few shots. If you guys want to farm for this one, like I said, DLC 4, it's not in the world drop system, unfortunately. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen it personally. You can only get it from Psycho Reaver, to my knowledge, which is the final boss in DLC 4. In 9th place, we have the Rogue Assault Rifle from Torg. This thing is amazing. You can find this one from DLC 4. It is in the world drop system, or if you want to farm the dedicated drop, it is Evil Brick in Castle Crimson. This thing, mobbing potential is insane. Essentially, cryojets have a chance to spawn homing missiles. They go and find out other enemies in the near vicinity and just destroy all the things, which is kind of amazing. Even in bossing situations, I was really surprised because this thing only comes in shock variants, by the way. It still does a ton of work against Graveward, which honestly shook me, but I would highly recommend you guys trying to get yourselves a good variant of this. I only have shock with next 2 mags. Shock, if you had fire on there for instance, it'll do a ton more damage to Graveward or any other flesh enemy. Essentially, just try and stack your AEC elemental types to make it efficient against other enemies. But even just with shock and shock, it took out all the enemies I took it against today in the Athenis area, in the melee 1 takedown, as well as, of course, Graveward. And in 10th place, we have the Damned Assault Rifle from Borderlands 3 base game. It recently got buffed and does a ton of damage and is a lot of fun to use. I really like the design of it. If you guys want to farm for this one, again, world drop system in the base game, or Agonizer 9000 is the dedicated drop from it. It is a little difficult to get from him though, because he does have 5 dedicateds for some reason still, but I would recommend trying to get it from the world drop system if you guys are going for it. But you can get any elemental type on this thing, so it'll be even more efficient if you guys get the correct one. With a good anoint, you're going to do a ton of damage. The only real problem with this thing is it runs out of bullets really quickly on most variants. I managed to be super lucky and find myself a giant 50 round drum mag one, which is really good. You don't have to reload anywhere near as often. Its special ability, it comes with a weapon shield, kind of like the Hyperion weapons when you aim down sights. I personally, I don't know if I really ever use those, but I mean, I'll take an extra little perk. And I'm actually going to chuck on an 11th place in here, an honorable mention to the OPQ system. Even a level 57 OPQ system, if you had a good roll from when the cartel event was around, this thing is still rocking Mayhem 10 level 65 enemies, which is kind of ridiculous. I didn't put it in the original list because it's not obtainable in the game anymore without trading with other people. If you want to trade, feel free to use the comment section as a trading center. Otherwise, we do have a Discord, which is again linked down below, which you're more than welcome to jump in and ask if anyone on your platform has any OPQs lying around, because this thing, even 8 levels down, does a ton of damage with any build, which is kind of amazing. But yeah, that is everything I have for the top 10 assault rifles in Borderlands 3 right now for Mayhem 10. They're all super viable, a ton of fun to use, and I highly recommend you guys checking them out. If you guys did find this video helpful or enjoyable, feel free to smash subscribe down below. I'd really appreciate it. I actually found out today that 90% of the people that watch my videos this month aren't subscribed, so if you guys could help me out, I'd really appreciate it. If you want to hit that bell, YouTube will notify you for whenever I post a video. Make a ton of Borderlands 3 videos on this channel. Other than that, if you guys want to help me out even more, you can smash like and share down below. That'd be awesome. If you guys have any other assault rifles that I didn't include in this video that you thought I should, or just have different rankings, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to see it. Other than that, if you guys want to check us out over on Twitch, I live stream every day except Tuesdays, just after I post my YouTube videos. That's linked down below, or just search CodeMQ on Twitch. And other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I shall see you guys next video, and I'll live stream. Till then, adios.